Hey there friends, my name is Miss Sykes and I am a Title I reading teacher in Central Ohio, and in our last lesson we were working on word ladders. We did word ladders with CVCe words. Remember, those are those consonant vowel consonant words with the short vowel. Today we're going to be doing another word ladder, but we're going to be doing it with CVCe words. Now these are similar to CVCe words except they have the silent E on the end, and that means the vowel is going to be long. So all these words have 4 letters instead of 3, but they still only have 3 sounds. So let's go ahead and look at what we're going to need for today's lesson. Materials-wise, and I'll say kind of the same thing I said as last time, you always need your ears, you need to be listening and paying attention, and you need a computer or an iPad to complete the seesaw activity for when we are done with our lesson here today. I would also recommend that if you have scrap paper and pencil or something to write with, that you also write down what we're doing. I think it really helps that you're able to see the word ladder physically in front of you, not just on a screen. And it'll really help you to write out the words and kind of feel out with your hand as well which letters are changing and be mindful of that. So if you have scrap paper and pencil, go ahead, pause the video, go and get that now so you can complete the word ladder with us. Otherwise, just listen and pay attention and we'll keep working through it together. Alright, so let's kind of do a quick review of what word ladders are. If you missed our last lesson with the CVCe words, a word ladder can be a little tricky to understand when you're first starting out. But once you understand how they work, they're really fun to do, and they're not super difficult once you kind of understand the pattern. So today's word ladder is going to be over CVCe words, like I mentioned before. So these are all going to be long vowel words. Our vowels are all going to be long today, and they're all going to have a silent E at the end. Each word, again, is similar, but not the same. So the words may look similar, but if you look carefully, no 2 words are going to be the same at any place on the ladder. You only change 1 letter each time. How many letters do you change each time? 1 letter, only 1. You cannot change 2, 3, or 4 letters. You cannot change 0 letters. You must change 1 letter every time you go up a step on the ladder. And in this case, this is super important, so listen up. The silent E never changes. The silent E will never be the letter that changes on our word ladder. It will stay the same on every single rung of the ladder. So it's going to be helpful to you when you're looking to figure out which letter is changing from one word to the next. Alright, so let's look at our ladder. And oh yes, also use the pictures to help you. So if obviously you're never going to know what's coming next on the word ladder unless you have a cue, the pictures are going to be helping to cue you to help you figure out which word it should be. And when we do our example together here, the pictures are going to be really big, so you know exactly which one I'm talking about. On Seesaw, when you do it by yourself, the pictures will be smaller and they will be next to each rung of the ladder that they correspond to, so you know which one is on there, and I'll show you that at the end as well. Alright, so today, like I said, we're doing CVCe words, so we're starting with the word race, and we're working our way up to the word lime. Just as a reminder, if you missed our last lesson, we go up the rungs of the ladder 1 step at a time. So we start here at race, and we're going to step up to the next rung of the ladder, change 1 letter to get a brand new word. It has to be a real word. We're going to base it on our picture. We're going to continue that pattern up the rungs of our ladder until we get to the very top, when we're going to have a brand new word. Our ending word in this case is going to be lime. So if we get to this rung of the ladder, and we need to change more than 1 letter to get to the word lime, then we messed something up. We need to go back and check again. So I went ahead and put a picture of 2 people racing because that would be the picture that was here next to the word race. But let's go ahead. We started at the green finger. We're going to go to the next rung of the ladder, the one that is now highlighted in yellow. And let's go ahead and look at our picture. Now, we can see that this is a bowl of rice. And if we look at the word race, if we even just listen to the words race and rice, we know that those words are pretty similar. They have a lot of the same sounds. But take a minute and think about which sound changes from the word race to the word rice. Good. If you guess that second sound, that middle sound, our vowel changed this time. So in the word race, we have a, s. And in the word rice, we have I, s. So our vowel changed, that middle sound, changed from an A to an I. But our R stayed the same, our C stayed the same, and of course, our silent E stayed the same as well. Only 1 letter change is very important. Let's go ahead and look at our next picture. We're now on our 3rd rung of the ladder, and we have somebody in a car. So let's think about it for a second. Car. R. Well, that doesn't really sound like a CVCe word, but I don't hear a long vowel in there. And I know that the word car is spelled C-A-R, so that's not going to fit. That would involve changing way too many letters. Let's see, it looks like he's waving. Maybe it's the word wave. W-A-V. That does have a long vowel, so it would have a silent E at the end, but that would be W-A-V-E. And that would have to change 3 letters. We are only allowed to change 1. So what else, let's use our good brains and think, what else could he be doing? It looks like he's riding in the car. Oh, maybe the word ride. You're right. That's a really good guess. Let's try the word ride and see if that fits. Hi Amelia, D. Has a long vowel, and I hear that there's an R at the beginning as well. So, excellent job. The word ride is our next word. In this case, the third letter, the third sound changed in our word. The C became a D, so the word rice could become the word ride. Our R stayed the same, and our I stayed the same. And of course, silent E stayed the same as well. As we can see, silent E is going to be the same all the way up. So if we wanted to, and if you're writing this down on paper next to you, you can already write down the E's in each column, in each space, because we know that each one of our words is going to have a silent E at the end. All right, let's keep going. Let's see, what is this? Looks like the ocean, but ocean has 2 syllables, so that couldn't be a CVCe word. Ocean, wave. Well, we already talked about wave before, and we know that word is W-A-V-E. Again, that would be changing way too many letters. It has a silent E and a long vowel, but it doesn't have an R, an I, or a D in it, so that can't be the right word. I know. Have you ever heard of the tide? When the ocean waves come in and out, it's called the tide. Sometimes the water comes farther up on the beach, and sometimes it pulls farther back so there's more beach exposed. That's called the tide. Go ahead and think about the word tide for a minute. If you have paper, go ahead and write it down. See if you can hear the sounds and see if it fits with changing just 1 letter from the word ride to the word tide. Is that what you got? Good job! So in this case, the word ride and tide are actually rhyming words. So we know that it's going to be the beginning sound that has to change. That means that the I, the D, and the E are all going to be the same, and the only letter we're changing here is the R. We changed it to an T, so the word ride could become the word tide. Let's try our next one. Now we know, we can kind of look ahead here. We're going to work towards the word lime. What letters do we already have ready to go? We know that E is ready to go because it's going to be the same all the way. We also can see that the letter I is ready to go. So we're probably not going to change the letter I between the word tide and the word lime. In whatever this word is, the I and the E are going to be the same. The letters that need to change are the T and the D. One of them is going to change on this rung, and the last one will change on the word lime. So, here we have a picture of a clock. The word clock has a short vowel, k, o, a, k, and it has 4 sounds. So I don't think that the word clock would fit on our word ladder. It doesn't have a T in it, or an I, or a D, and it certainly doesn't have a silent E at the end. But what does a clock show? That's right, it shows the time. So let's try the word time. It has a long vowel, and so it would have a silent E at the end. It also has a T at the beginning, just like tide, and a long I in the middle, just like tide. So that means the word time is going to fit in our next rung. In this case, the T, the I, and the E all stayed the same. The only letter that changed was the D. It became an M, so the word tide could become the word time. Now, obviously, we know what our last word is. It's lime. It's the one we've been working towards this whole time. But let's go ahead and look at which letter changed. We can see that the I stayed the same, the M stayed the same, and of course, silent E stayed the same as well. Just the T changed. The only letter that changed was T, so time could become lime. All right, friends, let's rate our understanding of this lesson. If you watched our word ladder CVCe lesson, then you're probably over here in the 4 or 5 star range. You feel like you might be getting a handle on this, especially if you've been practicing some of these on your own. If you didn't watch that lesson, or if you're maybe just struggling to follow along a little bit today, you're maybe over here in the 3 or maybe the 2 star range, where you feel like you have a general idea of what a word ladder is, but you might have some trouble understanding how to do it by yourself. That's okay. Go ahead and give it a try, and remember to ask an adult for help if you need it, or leave a comment below or send me a message on Class Dojo so I can help you out as well. And if you're over here in the 1 star range, where you're wondering what is a word ladder, I have no idea what you just did, go ahead and go back, watch the CVCe word ladder video, then watch this one again as well. After you've watched both of those, and make sure you've contacted me if you have any questions or asked a grown-up for help, then you can go ahead and try that seesaw activity by yourself. But I do want to make sure that you're well prepared to do it, because word ladders can be kind of confusing the first time you do them. All right, so let's look at your seesaw activity today, friends. We are starting down here with the green finger, and it is pointing at the word bake. We are then working our way up the ladder towards the word line. If we remember, the E is going to stay the same every time. The E is never going to change. So it's your job to either type or write each word on the rung of the ladder that matches the picture. So let me tell you what the pictures are showing, and then I'll have you go and try it on your own. We're starting with bake, which then becomes take, rake, lake, lane, line. Okay? So think about the sounds you hear in those words and make sure you do your best to spell them correctly and put them in their correct spot on the word ladder. When you're done, make sure you turn it in so I can see that good work as well. Awesome job today, friends. Rock on, my superstars. This can be a tough thing to figure out, but this is our last lesson for this year, which is amazing. You guys have worked so hard, and I'm really proud of you. Let's keep up the good work, finish out strong, and I cannot wait to see all the good work you turn in to finish up our year together. And I miss all of you, and I hope you have a wonderful summer. Bye!